everybody, this is Joyce Chow for iHollywood Film Fest. Today we have with us Adrienne Lunson with Klio Studio. Now, I'm just going to say Adrienne, she has it together. She's going to be telling you some things that, let's just put it this way, she's going to make your life easier if you are into production with her software with Klio Studio. She created this because, well, actually she saw these different needs that she had as a creator that were not currently being met. And not only is, now note that I said as a creator that were not currently being met. So she understands the pain and everything that you are going with. We're going to go ahead and hand it over to Adrienne, but real quick, if you are on this call, if you are listening, if you are one of the winners for iHollywood Film Fest, there is a 1-year complimentary subscription for her service. Thank you very much, Adrienne, that you will be receiving. Thank you. So right now, first of all, I hope you guys have opened up an account because there is a free trial so that you can go ahead and follow along with her as she is talking. But at this point, Adrienne, I'm going to hand it over to you and tell us about Klio Studio, a walkthrough, how you created it, why you created it, etc. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Hi everyone. I'm also, call me a creator. I've worn lots of hats. I'm an award-winning filmmaker as well. Nothing like big fancy. I've mostly, I've been a workhorse in Hollywood and the entertainment industry. I've worked on huge TV shows and huge movies, and was working my way up to, doing my first big feature film. I'd done my shorts, got some awards, worked in development, worked in post-production. And when I left development at AMC Networks, I opened my production company and I was going to do my big movie. I was going to make a big thing, sell the pilot, do all that. And I just saw the amount of work that had to happen to, one, keep the production company up and running, just to keep track of the productions, and just the roughness that it caused in the quality of life for myself, my friends, whether I was at the studio, the network, small indie productions. It seemed like everybody had the same kind of problems and issues. Like, there's so many little things administratively and that you just have to keep track of that have nothing to do with making a good movie or making a good short. So being a good creative requires being like this administrative person as well. And frankly, I was tired of doing all of that. So I started researching to find a tool. I'd worked at all these studios, nobody had a tool. I'd worked on, all this, I had this resume, but I had never encountered something that was helpful. So I started looking into, that's what we do in film. We just have an idea and we create it. So I was like, okay, let's try that with software. How hard could it be? Quite hard, as it turns out. But as a result, 3.5 years later now, Klio Studio has been born. So Klio, if you know anything about Greek mythology, is that there are muses for most of the art forms. So there's a muse for music, there's a muse for comedy, there's a muse for writing. Well, Klio is the muse for the record keepers. So back when people had to repeat all of the writing and keep track of history and records, Klio was their muse. And so that to me was just a perfect example of what this software is there to be, is to allow creatives and inspire creatives and help them make better projects without replacing them. Like, it doesn't replace anybody, it just makes life better for everybody, and also empowers people who want to make a project or want to step up their project or want to go to the next level. It helps them do all of that. I had a neighbor who's he's a model actor and wanted to do his first production and didn't really know where to start. And we sat down, I showed him how to use it, and he was able to use it to film a pilot, a documentary, like a docuseries, or like kind of a reality docuseries. For the first time, this first thing he did, they filmed the whole pilot and it all fell into place. And he had no real production experience. So that's what it's meant to do. It's supposed to make all of our lives easier so we can make good content and tell great stories. And I'm really excited to share it with the world and help other creatives. That's why I'm like, hey, if you're making stuff and you're making good stuff, like, here, have a subscription, try it out. make your life better. Let us know what's going on. We'll keep improving the software. This isn't an ego thing for me. I don't really want to be a CEO of a software company. I want to make movies. Like, I want to make movies. I'm making this so I can make movies. Like, my motivations are very obvious. Like, it's not about money to me. It's about, let's make good content. And I feel like the responsibilities that this helps with usually falls on either newer people or women, honestly. Like, it feels like the stressful items we're stuck taking care of. And I want to be able to also lower that barrier to entry. Also for people who haven't gone to film school, it'll help you through a lot of that as well. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm very easy to get to. Email info@kliostudio.com. So KLIOSTUDIO. So KL. And yeah, without further ado, you want to go ahead and jump into it? Any questions for me before we start? Maybe? No? Okay, cool. I'm gonna sip some coffee and let's jump into it. Right, share. So if you did want to, where's the chat real quick? So if you go to app, where's my Zoom? Zoom, chat. Where's the chat? No chat. Oh, there's the chat. And we have a question. So if you want to get in real quick, it's app.kliostudio.com/sign up, or I think that's it. And that should take you right to the sign up page. So when you log into Klio, once you have an account, a subscription account, this is what you're going to see. So you have this nice dashboard. It has our logo and everything, but this is your combined calendar. So all of your different shoot days and all of your different projects will show up here. And you're like, I have multiple projects. Yes, you can have up to 15 projects with our $11.99 subscription, which is the subscription we're giving you guys. So you can have up to 11 or up to 15 going on at one time, and you can have up to 15 contributors at one time. So if you have a writer, director, first AD, gaffer, 3 actors, all those people, you can have all 15 on each different project without needing another subscription or a step up. And once again, that's $11.99 a month for everything. So we kept that price low because I understand for indie filmmakers, you're choosing between, you know, do I actually get to eat this week or do I get that new camera lens? Like, I get it. And then also when you're working with people and you're trying to do collaborative work, if other people have to pay or create a subscription or do any of that, it's usually difficult to get them on the software to work as a team. So that's why we made anybody who's working on a project but not owning a project, they're able to have a free subscription. Because if you're contributing to a project, I think it's a little weird you have to pay to contribute to the project, especially if you should be being paid to do the project. So that's just a philosophy thing for me. So here, these are assigned to me tasks, which we will get there in a sec. And then here, this is actually our chat function. So when 2 people are in a project together, they're able to chat with each other and communicate with each other without knowing each other's phone number or email. So you're able to keep a lot of that personal information out of circulation, especially if you're working with someone, maybe they don't feel comfortable giving out their phone number, or there's of course the off chance of someone being inappropriate, so you don't have to give them your phone number or email. And then once the project is over, the project is closed, and then the 2 people can't chat with each other anymore. So it forces a little professionalism in there, but also allows communication. And of course, if you like the person, you can get their phone number. Like, you do you. So here's under projects when you go on the left-hand side. And so this is I've got 12 projects in here. And it's really easy to create a project. You just put the name in, the description, and the project type. We're going to have a lot of new features coming in that leans on this, but for right now, it doesn't really matter which one you pick, but in the future it will. So let's jump into, this is Shiner. This is actually a project I'm working on with one of my friends. And so when you go into overview, you see you can put in a movie poster and some kind of IMDb-ish information about the project. Just click edit real quick. And then this is the brainstorming section. So as you're trying to get a project up and running, before you have a script, before you even really know what you're doing, you have all these ideas, and this is a place to store it. So you can upload files, add comments, and this is live. So if you're having a Zoom meeting, a development meeting, you can put whatever ideas, pictures, things there in the group kind of brainstorm for later, instead of putting in your notes and then those get lost. And then here, this is members. So this is where you start adding your team in. And it's really easy. You just hit add member. This, you do have to have their email address, because I don't want you randomly adding people. Like, let's say once Brad Pitt's on this thing, you can't just like add Brad Pitt. No, you gotta have his email. You don't actually have his email, you can't do that. We need to be professionals here. And then you select their position. And when you select their position, we have default permissions built in based upon their job title. So, for example, Levi here is executive producer. So we go over here, we look edit his permissions. So you can change his job if you want. But if you see here, all of his permissions are kind of set to a look, but don't touch. Because if you're executive producer, generally they're just putting up the money. They don't really know what they're doing. You don't want them going in there and messing with things, but you do want them to be able to like leave some notes and view everything. And of course, everything is editable. We just put some defaults in to help. Now, Jenna is an admin. And if you look, see, her permissions are almost fully filled out. So she has access to everything. And if you want to change somebody's job, that's where you do it. Any questions up until this moment? Okay, cool. So you'll notice as we go through this, it goes with the production flow. So first, what's the idea? And then let's get the team together. And next we go to tasks, when you start actually going into pre-production and putting things together. So this is a full Asana system, Asana-esque system, split up between the different projects. They're also split up between the production stages. So many projects get in development, they never get to pre-production. A lot get to pre-production, never actually get to production. So it saves you from jumping ahead and doing pre-production or production, post-production tasks before you're there, unless you want to fill them all in. You just keep yourself organized. So this is a really easy drag and drop. You can also change these drag and drop. You can change these if you want. You can move them around as well. So it's just create a task, put the task's name in there, the start and the due date. You can assign it to someone as well. Which category, which department, description, attached files, whole nine, to keep yourself organized. You can also view it in the board function if that's how you prefer. Now, when you get, let's say someone else assigns you a task, that ends up on your dashboard, which I showed you earlier. So these assigned to me. So I go ahead and click it, and here we go. There it is. So I have to find a green couch, and it's assigned to me, and I can attach things. So this helps with, if you forget to tell somebody, you expect them to do something, it just, it just helps with the workflow. They sign in and they're like, oh, these are my tasks. Okay, cool. Just to make sure that they know where they're at and what they're doing. And then there's also a wrong project. Great. Oh, no wonder. And tasks. Oh, tasks were fine. Now it's misbehaving. Oh, we have chat questions. Does everyone on the team need to buy a subscription? No, just the project owner. So tasks would be a little weird. Let's hop back to that in a sec. So this is the script section. So the only thing left on the task that was being weird and I couldn't get into is that there's also a timeline function. So it's a Gantt chart and you can have a waterfall of all of your different tasks. So you can see when one thing's finishing, when the next thing needs to start. And it's just a different view to help you with everything. So this is scripts. So once you figure out what you're doing, you brainstorm, you get your team together, you start, getting contracts and everything and your tasks. Then the next thing is scripts once you have your story. Okay, so there's a lot in here. If you've ever worked in TV or on like a very high level, you end up having lots of different versions of scripts. And usually you have multiple projects going on with multiple scripts and they just end up somewhere in your email. You don't know which one's which. Everyone uses a different naming convention. I could keep going on. So that's why I created this section. So we'll add a new script. So you can either upload an FDX or this is the wrong one. You can upload FDXs or PDFs. It should work with pretty much every export type of all different script programs, so long as it is done correctly. You do have to have correct formatting, but it should work with every production type, including PDFs. So as you can see, I uploaded this one. The old one came down here. And we have all of the old versions down here, so you can still access them if you need it. And you can put your script notes in here, put all that information. It's actually HTML, so you can even put pictures and items, links, whatever you need in there. And the notes follow each script. One of the other things we have is, so we hit View PDF. It automatically watermarks anyone who views it. So this is automatic watermarking, and I can view it if that's in my permissions. I have another chat. We'll get to that in a sec. Right now, you can't find crew through the service, but it is something we are working towards. But I'll get to that in a minute. I gotta get back up. Come on. Hide. Gotta get back. There we go. There's a toolbar that comes down when I'm doing Zoom and it covered all my tabs. Okay, so that's the view PDF. So, and then we also have share PDF. So you can share it to whoever you need and it'll be watermarked with their name. And then also we have a download function. So if they have the ability to download it, they would be able to download it, and it's also automatically watermarked with their name. We have one more function called the script log. So it keeps a digital record of everyone who has accessed that version of the script, when and where and how. And that also follows each version of the script. So if, let's say, somebody's walking around trying to pass off your script as theirs, you have when they accessed it, when they downloaded it, and a watermarked version, and they have a watermarked version with their name on it. So these are just ways that we are, kind of putting automatic professionalism on things, being able to help safeguard creatives. You don't need a separate software to watermark things. It automatically does it. And then you also have a record of anybody who's accessed it. So we're looking out for you guys. And then this is Pitch Deck, has almost all the same functions. So like you can view your pitch decks and also keep a log of that, because I know people who have lost reality show-esque ideas because they sent along the pitch deck and had couldn't prove that the idea was stolen. And then you can also put in storyboard pictures and then view them in a PDF form. I'll show you that a little bit later. Okay, so any questions up till now? Check the chat again. We don't have file storage yet, but we are doing a function called bring your own storage. So, and then we're also working out a deal with a storage company to be able to get you 10 gigs for super cheap. And it's a technology company, and they don't have an interface like Dropbox does, but we're trying to put an interface into ours. So I'll keep you updated on that. Right now, whatever you can upload has no effect on your storage, but we don't, in order for us to keep the price really cheap, we don't let anybody upload gigabytes of footage, because then that would force us to raise prices, which we're not a storage company. So, all right, any other questions up till now? All right, so I'm going to do a script breakdown. I'm going to click this button and count to 3. Now, Infestation is a script that I wrote. It is 110 pages, 169 scenes, and it took 3 seconds for it to break it down into a script board. So these are all the different pages, and we can actually do all days. It's going to take longer for it to show all the strips than it took to process the scripts. So 1 sec. There we go. Okay, so here's all the days, all the strips, all the way down. So what we have it to default do is just put 5 scenes per day. So if you do that script and you do that and you calculate it out, the idea that if you were to go at a pace of about 5 scenes per day, it'd be about a 34-day shoot. At 110 pages, okay, and you're like, okay, well, maybe we'll try to do it for 30. So what the software does is it gives it a scene number. So if it doesn't have a scene number, that's fine. It'll give it a scene number. It'll pull out interior, exterior, the setting, day. It'll number the cast for you. And then it just duplicates this to location, and it also calculates the 1/8 of a page. Now, when you click here, it opens up into a breakdown sheet. So if I want to change this location to barracks set number 2, because that's what we ended up calling the location, I can do that. Let's change it from day to night. Description, opening scene. Whatever we want to put in there. And then there's a stunt, there's a fall. We need 12 soldiers. I can't spell. We need a M4. And he's got a big tag. Okay. So this is all metadata you can put in, any information, and you can keep adding to this. You can just keep adding to these if you like, oh, wait, we're going to make this a dolly shot. Make sure to add, needs dolly and up. Okay, so these are production notes. And let's say there's a character that didn't talk. You can go ahead and add them back in. Like number 4 is there. She's in the scene. She just didn't talk. All right, so you can do this to all the scenes. And, instead of having 169 of those sheets that you have to keep track of, instead now the system can keep track of it all for you. It's taking a bit to save because I have all the strips out. So you see change color and update all that. I don't know why that one's being a weird color. So, and then with the 1/8 of a page, generally how you schedule something is you try to put all of the locations together and then try to solve for actors. And you also have to solve for day and night shoots versus interior and exterior shoots. So quick AD stuff, you want to do your exterior day shots first thing in the week, then your interior day, then your exterior night, exterior night, and then your night interior. So you can usually get away with that, but you need your night shoots, if they have to be night shoots, at the end of the week. So if you're going to do the night shoot at the end of the week, so your crew can sleep in that day, work the evening, and then rest all the next day. Because if you're expecting them to shoot all night and then show up the next morning to work, no, that's just doesn't work. So in TV, a lot of times you just don't make plans for Friday night, because there's a good chance that that's when the night shoot's going to be. And if you just have the night off, great, but you usually don't even know until the week of. So there's something about TV. So you can download this. You can also add a new scene. Let's say you add like 1.1, and there's a new scene that you want to add to the first day. So then you can drag and drop these bad boys, move them around. Let's do move this one. Oh, keep that one, and drag and drop them. You can also change the date in here, like change this to day 1, save, and it'll move it for you. While it's loading. That's the other reason why we tend to like only have a few days on the strips, because it just takes a long time for it to load. You can also click here and move to and send it to a different day. Delete it and edit it. We have a question. Oh, thank you, Roxanne. Okay, so once you've started breaking everything down and putting the strips in order, working with your first AD, also another note for scheduling is generally you want to figure out like you only want about 4 pages per day. If you're running really fast, you maybe get 5. I've seen indie films try to get through 7 pages in a day, and it's rough. It's rough for everybody. But when you look at this 1/8 of a page, you can kind of tell how long each scene is. So like, oh, okay, this is just one setup and a couple lines. Okay, not a big deal. But down here, that's 4 and 2/8 of a page with a whole lot of characters. That's just all you're going to do that day. You're going to do the establishing shot for it, and then you're just going to do those shots to get all the coverage and get all the communication and all the dialogue. It's pretty much all you're going to get through that day. All right, so once you have an idea what you're doing, then we move to shooting schedule. This is when we actually put down the dates, actually put down the times, figure out what's going on. Because you can do the strip boards, and have everything perfect, and then you might have to wait a few months before you start doing your scheduling. Because scheduling, we're going to film. You pick a shoot date by clicking right here. So pick a date. We're going to shoot on Monday. Or film. Let me stop saying shoot. And then the next day, Tuesday, we're going to do the 16th. So you can put in time. This is helpful for a lot of people when they're just, kind of getting new to it. And so, if you need to film, let's say you have to be off the set by 1600 or 4 o'clock. Like 4 o'clock, hard out. You can't stay any longer. All right. So if that's the case, then we need to be filming this last scene starting probably by 1 o'clock. Did I say 1400? I meant 1600. 1600. Sorry, I've been out of the military a minute. So you've got to start filming that at least by 1 o'clock to give yourself, a couple hours to film, and then cleanup time. So if you have to be out of there by 4 o'clock and you start and it's noon and you haven't even finished this scene yet, you're in trouble. So that's why this is helpful. So it's like, we got to start, we have to be first shot off at 8 a.m. We have to be on the last shot by 1 p.m. so we can wrap by 3, so we can be out of there by 4, because cleanup and getting out and all that, that's important, because if you go overtime, they're going to charge you. Usually, unless you have a good producer is like, come on, don't charge us. Also part of production life. So you can do that for all of them. We also have, here's the location name, the character numbers, and then all of those items we talked about before, that metadata is now available here. You can also download this as well. So we go to calendar, and you can see these are the 2 shoot days. So you can have a calendar view of what you're doing, and you can go in and edit them. Put some information. I would suggest going back to the other side because it's a lot of data. So, but if you want to put notes, you're welcome to. And then call sheets. More metadata moved over. Okay, so this is the call sheet template. So there's certain things on your call sheet that are going to be the same for every single day. And then the call sheet's going to have different information every day. So this is for the information that's the same every day. You can go ahead and put these notes in, like more notes, no films, no phones on set. And then like project owner, she's not important, put somebody else in there, put the production office, craft services, phone number, all that. And then this is the back page where you can put all of your crew. Because in general, your crew is going to be the same, but sometimes you'll have to delete one person off for one day, add another person for another day. But in general, it's going to be the same for the most part. So it saves you from having to do it every single time. All right, so go back to call sheets. Now we've set our template. And we jump into create call sheet. Is this the right day? Yes. And see, it already figured out for us. It's day 1 of 34. So that's in the strip board. So that information got pulled over. All right, so first shot's got to be off at 8 a.m. So 6:30, because it's a small shoot, a.m. What's the location? Go there. Is parking at location? No. Parking's there. Is base camp at location? Yeah. Where? Sunscreen. Because people forget. And it's thinking. Boop, you have a call sheet. So it pulls in, day 1, it pulls in the sunrise, sunset for you. It also pulls in the weather for you and the nearest hospital. It also pulls in that information from the template, your call time. This is the project name. This is the poster that we put in the overview. Here's the notes. And then here's all the information we had in the shooting schedule. Locations, dates, and then here are all the crew or the cast or the characters that were in the days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should be 5. I think that's right. And then here's the metadata that we put in earlier. And then this is the next day. So it pulls all that information in for you. So long as it's right in the system. It's a VA. So long as all that information is right in the system, it should pull here, and then you can add your stand-ins. This is for more of a, a union larger project for your stand-ins, what time they need to report, your atmosphere, what time they need to report. And then this is a union thing where you put the number of stand-ins, number of AFTRA, SAG-AFTRA union or SAG-AFTRA extras, and then non-union extras. And if there's more information you want to add in, like 3 moto cops, yeah, you can go ahead and add it in. All of this is editable, by the way. If you just realize, like, you know what, we're not going to make it if we start at 6:30. We're starting at 6. Sorry, guys. You can edit that. You can edit all of this. Let's say one of these numbers ends up being the incorrect one. 6. If there's a data problem, you can go in and edit everything. It also pulls and calculates how many pages you're doing that day. You can then put your cast in. If they start, finish, hold, or work, put that there. When they need to be in makeup, when they need to report, when they need to report to set, if they're a minor, and special instructions. So all of this you can fill in and edit. And then when you go to the back page, you can then, if somebody's not going to be there one day, edit them out. New person, add them in, and then put their individual call times if it is different than the crew call time. Save. Roll sheet. And then, of course, you can go back to view and edit. You can download it. You can share it. You can delete it. And then we now have a watermarked call sheet. Yay. So any questions up till this point? I feel like you have one.
This is pretty amazing.
Thank you. And this is just the first version that we're rolling out. So part of what happens is we are creating, and what they asked about, can you find crew? So when somebody goes in and creates a profile, we then have their personal profile. So my profile can float between different projects. So Joyce, if you have a project and you add me in, I don't have to create a new profile. I just have my floating profile.
Oh,
so I don't have to create a new profile. I can be moving from production to production, studio to studio, and I just have my profile. Okay. So if we have all these profiles, we need to just put them in a way to view them and to search them. So you can start looking, let's say you and I work together, and instead of me hitting you up saying, oh, I need a gaffer, I can just look and see which gaffers you've worked with and then view their profile, and then be able to then start finding crew through people that, would normally do recommendations. Or if you're trying to remember, oh, I worked with this really great gaffer on this project I did 3 years ago, you can go in there, find him or her, because it's still listed in the project, and then you can reach out to them through this profile. And if people are constantly using it, it's up to date, unlike an IMDb, or trying to get through on, say, their social media, or their email has changed, all those things. So that's something we are in the works of doing, as well as the storage. That's something we're in the works of doing. I have self-funded this whole thing. So when you are building anything or producing anything or creating anything, you can either have it fast, cheap, or high quality. So you have to give somewhere. You can't have all three. So we are going with high quality and cheap so I can continue to eat. But as a result, it is taking us a little while to build all these really cool functions and features, but it is set up to do that. And then we're also planning on having kind of a marketplace as well. So if you need to rent trucks, if you need to rent equipment, all these things, well, they already have profiles. So let's say stunt people, for example. I have my stunt profile, and I'm working on projects. And then I have a few friends who have stunt profiles, and together we make a stunt team, and you can hire the stunt team or the stunt company. Well, that's just several profiles inside of another profile. So as technology goes, we can build these things, and we're planning on building them. But it's just we'll get there. Keep giving us ideas, things that would be helpful, and we'll keep tracking, plugging along. Wow. Any other questions?
I think it's pretty amazing. I like the free profile so that people realize that once they have the profile, if they're on a project or they're off a project, it still exists regardless.
So the only difference between the subscription profile and the free one is that you can't create projects,
right,
if you don't have a subscription. And then the only person who can delete the project is the project owner. So let's say you have a fallout with your director. They can't go in and just delete the whole project and mess things up for you. So only the project owner has that capability. And then a person's ability inside the project is based upon what their permissions are. So Joyce, if you have 2 projects and I'm only added to one, I can't even see the other one. Nobody can see it but you and the people that you've added to that project. So, I can see, let's say I do several different projects. I can see the several different projects, but only the ones that I've been added to.
Wow. Well, that's pretty amazing. Miss Saki, I know, is working on a number of projects. Roxanne had a crazy schedule, but she's been busy doing things since she added some questions to the group. And I know there will
Okay.
be other people that have a lot of questions that are coming up. Masaki, did you want to ask her anything?
So people can get notification when the due is coming, like about how about like you can add people to the task and then people can get notification about it.
There are two places where they would get notifications. They should get it via their emails, but they should also get it right here.
Oh, okay. That's
So,
cool.
yeah, there are notifications, and we're working on these settings as well as creating a mobile extension. So, you know, your PA is out getting everyone coffee, and then they get a task that says also pick up,
Right.
you know, the generator on the way.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
I think this is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So, Adrienne, because we have recorded this so that other people that were not here today can go ahead and listen to it at their leisure, and they may have some questions to ask you. As you know, I sent an email out to everybody that were the winners. I can go ahead and give you what's the easiest way to do this. Do they sign up and then you match it against the names, or how do you normally do it?
Well, we do different ways with different film festivals. Usually we just kind of reach out and let them know, because the film festivals, you end up having so many things to do that we're just like, if you send us the emails, we'll just reach out to them, let them know it's for, you know, what they have, and any questions, we can just kind of take it from there. Okay. But also some film festivals just email out the winners and let them know their prize. And then we can put some links on there so they have a better idea of what the prize is. One of the things we found, or we've been finding, is that because this is kind of a new concept, that when we say there's a new software, people just don't understand how this can be helpful to them, because they've done it by hand for so long that the idea that there's something out there to help them, I don't know, it's just kind of either intimidating or they're just too busy to look at it, which I understand, but I'm also here to help. So just however anybody wants to get in touch with me. I love helping filmmakers. I love seeing people just light up when they, you know, get something done. Anyway.
This is perfect. Well, thank you very much. We will, you were copied on the emails, and we'll send some more information out to everybody with the link from what we've created today. So we'll try and make it time efficient so they can go ahead and see the video, and then they can go ahead and reach out with any other questions that they have. But if you are looking at this video, if you have questions, Adrienne covered a lot of different things in here. So please watch the video again, maybe. Because we're trying to help a lot of different people at this time, and we just want to make it very time efficient. So please watch the video first before you contact her and ask her any questions. So that's it.
Appreciate that. Like the younger generation's pretty quick. The older generation, if they need a little bit more help, that's fine. I'm happy. So
anyway, Adrienne, thank you very much. And you dropped your information in. You have the website, and
yes, that's the sign up real quick. And then I said at the beginning, it's info at kliostudio.com. So there's a lot of information on kliostudio.com. There's also we have a Facebook group specifically for users, where people can kind of talk to each other. And that's also where we're starting to put some of, like, when we partner with a film festival and they give us a discount, that's where we post for our users to submit to film festivals. Or if we're having an event, let's say we're next year when we do more in-person stuff, if we have an iHollywood Klio Studio event, that's where we post it for our users to come to the event. Like, come have an open bar, come do why we're one of the other reasons we're in Hollywood, which is to have fun.
Can you drop your Facebook group link in there? So then when we do the video, then I'll include it in the information in the video.
Yes, I believe it's just Klio Studio users.
Yeah.
So
Perfect. That'll be awesome.
This page unavailable. I gotta log in. I will send it to you. It's taking me a sec to find it. Yes, thank you everyone for joining. Congratulations on being part of the film festival. Wherever you are in your film and creator journey, you know, you got this. You're doing great. If you're here, you keep trying. And wishing you all the best.
Yes, thank you very much, Adrienne. And thank you everybody for joining us. If you're watching this afterwards or you happen to be here. Anyway, it's for iHollywoodfilmfest.com. Submissions are open. We are accepting, of course, film submissions because we are a film festival, but we've also opened it up to other media, whether you have photography or podcasting or NFTs, it's open for that too. So find out more information, of course, by going to iHollywoodfilmfest.com, and you can find out all of our links. And go ahead and, you know, join the group, join us. We've got always something going on because the idea is we are going to help raise the level for all of us creatives so we can not only create, but be more efficient and prosper. Anyway, everybody, thank you for joining us. Bye.